Why my business almost collapsed in 2021. So as everyone knows, COVID affected a lot of businesses in a lot of different niches differently. Some restaurants, for example, got annihilated. Now, for me personally, I was in the construction industry and materials went up by like 50%, labor went up by 100% in the space of about 12 weeks because of supply chains, because of the COVID lockdowns and shipping container prices going up. It put me in a situation where I was in fixed price contracts. I got a client and I agreed, I'm going to do your roofing project for X amount of money, and it was a fixed price. And so one thing I learned, and hopefully I can pass this on to you guys as well, is in your contracts, you should always have a clause called a force majeure. What this means is if there's a crazy circumstance like COVID, a world war, or a natural disaster, it means that you can actually have the right to withdraw and pull out of a contract because all of a sudden your margins have been annihilated and either that job is a loss or is significantly less profitable. And so because I didn't have a force majeure clause in my contracts, I had the choice between losing my reputation and just pulling out of just refusing to do job at the price that I'd done and pissing off all my customers and getting hundreds of bad negative reviews, or to wear it and just do the jobs even though I was losing massive amounts of margin. And in the end, I looked at business as a long-term thing, and I decided to honor all the clients, honor all the contracts, and it was very expensive. I almost went under from it, but I'm glad that I did it because I managed to keep my reputation, keep my 5-star rating, and now we're in 2023, already recovered. I'm really grateful that I did do that, but I wish I had the force majeure in my contract. The second reason why my business almost collapsed in 2021 is that there was a massive hailstorm, and in roofing, if the roof is damaged by hail, sometimes it gets approved by insurance and the client gets paid money from the insurance to replace the roof. So there's a massive hailstorm near me, and so I was aggressively marketing, aggressively expanding my company, and it got to the point where we went from doing like 3-4 re-roofs a month to 3 or 4 re-roofs a week. So it was like a 4x within a very short period of time. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't have the managers for this. We're growing too quickly. And depending on your business, depending on what type of business you have, sometimes the economics and the structure, it is easier to scale. Bricks and mortar businesses are not easy to scale because you need a lot of people, a lot of processes to keep it in check. If you're more digital, if you're in the online coaching space, if you're in selling a digital product, it's a lot easier to scale because there's less moving parts. But yeah, definitely keep that in mind, that if you have a service-based business, sometimes it's actually better to build cash reserves and get them to a higher level before you expand, rather than going, oh, if I do more jobs, then I'll have more money, then I can put more cash in the bank. It doesn't always work that in service-based industry, depending on what margins you're running at. Builders typically run 15 to 20% gross margin, and some of them like a 5% net. So if you're a builder, then with those type of margins, you cannot expand aggressively. So that's just one example, is building. But yeah, keep it simple. If you do have a business that has contracts with clients, which you probably do if you have a business, make sure you have a force majeure contract clause in there. And if you are in the service-based industry, think twice about expanding rapidly unless you have good cash reserves and enough managers to handle that expansion. Because if you don't keep your quality high, then your reputation will go down. So hope those helps you. And yeah, just sharing some of my vulnerability of how I almost went under because of just lack of knowledge and being naive. I didn't even know what a force majeure clause was.